Hey guys, what's up? If you're playing Warzone, you must know the Season 3 Battle Pass is coming to an end in about a week, and while trying to speed up my level up process, I got interested and kinda fell in love with the most underrated Warzone mode in my opinion, Plunder. It is actually pretty fun, and also a very good way to grind experience both as a player, since you can respawn as much as you want, and experience in-game for your Battle Pass, character or weapon. I've been tryharding it in solo with random people and found out some easy ways to farm wins and grind tons of XP, as much as 40,000 XP in just 15 minutes, which you would usually struggle a lot more to gain in classic modes, not even mentioning the games would take at least twice as long. So first of all, since not a lot of people play this mode, I just wanted to do a quick rundown of the rules. In Plunder, your goal is to get as much money as you can with your team. To achieve this, you have a lot of possibilities: looting the buildings, doing contracts, looting airdrops and destroying attack choppers, or simply killing the richest people, because if you get killed, you drop about half of your money. You also have a few ways to secure your money, but I'll get back to this later. Once a team reaches 1 million, we enter the overtime, where all the money income is multiplied by 1.5 and the game ends when the clock hits 0. Also, really important, whenever a team reaches 1 million, they automatically secure all their money. So how can we take advantage of this? Well, if you play a lot of Warzone, you're probably aware that there are banks on the map. There is a big bank in downtown. It is very easy to recognize as it is shaped like a square with an helicopter spawn on the roof, and it's just behind the biggest building of downtown. And small banks, these are those green buildings. There are 5 of them to my knowledge. While in Plunder, they are loaded with tons of cash, and since very few people know about this, it is pretty common to be able to loot all of them under 10 minutes and get way ahead of all the other teams. So I'm gonna give you a few tips to take full advantage of this and make some easy wins. I also want to mention that I don't pretend that this is the best or most efficient way to win in Plunder, but this is what I found for me to be the most reliable to carry random teammates and get a lot of wins while still having fun. First of all, let's look at the optimal loadout we want to take. First, the weapon. Since most of the fights will occur in buildings, I recommend using something that allows to react quickly and destroy at very short range. This is why I use the MP7 with the monolithic suppressor, the FSS recon barrel, the 5MW laser, the Merc foregrip, and the 60 round magazine. This allows a very fast reaction time and precision even with hipfire, ideal to shred multiple opponents in close quarters. As a second weapon, I use the knife to be able to run at full speed. For the perks, I use double time to be even faster. I used to use cold-blooded, but it's honestly not that useful in the end. You can also use EOD if you really hate C4 and RPG users. As the second perk, I use Ghost, mostly to be invisible on heartbeat sensors, but also on UAVs. I gotta say, it's gonna be pretty hard to stay invisible in this mode, since most of the time you will have a giant red circle around you that screams, "Please kill me," but it still helps in buildings to not reveal your exact position and get the advantage on your opponent. The go-to otherwise would have been Pointman, since it gives more money for contracts, but it has been hard enough in Plunder and the bonus is now ridiculous, so it's not necessary. As the third perk, the only perk that is really useful according to me is Tracker. It can help you spot people in buildings as well. And finally, for the grenades, I recommend using the C4, as it's just an all-around good thing to always have, whether it's to blow up vehicles or people. And as the tactical grenade, you could use a steam to refresh your tactical sprint, but honestly, I just can't bring myself to not use the heartbeat sensor. It's just way too OP and I don't count how many times it saved my life. And let's not forget the field upgrade. The most useful is Dead Silence. It will allow you to be even faster and silent in buildings, to give you yet another advantage on your opponents. Now that we have our loadout, let's head into the game. So what I like to do for this is dropping on the downtown bank all the time. Just leave your teammates to whatever they want to do, and pray that they do their part. You can always try to ping a random contract to try to push them to do them. You are literally the kid that tried to go alone and carry on his own, except you actually do. This is what most of your games will look like.
Blue, where are you going, man?
A few moments later.
Penny supply boxes, for fuck's sake, what were you doing, man?
For some reason, there is rarely ever more than 2 or 3 people dropping here, which I found very curious considering how big of an edge looting this building can give you at the beginning. But anyway, if you see too many people are dropping here, I would just recommend moving on to the next phase or straight up restarting the game. If you feel like you're able to deal with the few people that are around, get rid of them and start looting the whole place, from top to bottom. By the way, I always like to trap the helicopter with a C4 and move on. Just wait until it becomes red on your map and voila! It's a free kill every time. You might also think, why not take the helicopter for ourselves? Well, first, it's unreliable because it doesn't spawn 100% of the time, and in my opinion, helicopters are just too big of a hassle. It's such an easy target, the whole map would try to shoot you, and considering you have to take off and land every time, it's not even that much faster than a light vehicle. So you should usually get out of this bank with around 200 to 300,000, which is usually enough to be the richest player already, so be careful for enemies. If you die, that's okay, don't try to get your money back, just move on to the next steps. Now you can either go for the blue car to the north or the truck to the west, and start your bank world tour. The first on your road is on Promenade East, then Promenade West. Then cut through the rails and follow the road to the one that is a bit south of the superstore. Then the one at the TV station, and finally one at the north of TV station. If you see that one of the banks has already been visited, don't even bother getting out of your car, just move on to the next one. Every of those banks will get you between 100 and 200,000. So at the end of your little trip, you should have something anywhere between 500,000 and 1 million. If your team hasn't secured a million yet, try to play it safe and loot a few houses around where you are or do a contract. And talking about contracts, only do the loot box searching or recon ones, never bounties, they are too random, unreliable and risky. I also forgot to talk to you about attack choppers and airdrops. The airdrops are cases that lands on a big flashy green smoke and is usually a good way to get killed. Never pick them up unless one drops right in front of you and nobody is around yet. Same goes for attack choppers. They need to be destroyed to drop money. Don't pay attention to them unless one crashes right in front of you. And most importantly, if you don't reach a million, never try to secure your money. It's the biggest bait and you will die. The deposits are constantly camped. The only time where it is acceptable to deposit money is if you're absolutely certain your team controls the area, or if you come across balloons, which can hold 150,000. Then, once your team has secured a million, you can do pretty much whatever you want to earn as much as you can in the overtime. You can go in the houses under Promenade or the planes in the junkyard to loot tons of boxes, which is probably the most efficient thing to do. You can help your teammates to try and do an extra contract or two, or you can take advantage of the fact that your cash is secured and go kill the richest people, which is honestly the funniest part. I also need to talk to you about the bunkers. Sometimes in loot boxes and more frequently in the big bank, you will come across a red access keycard, which allows you to enter the bunkers across the map and loot tons of loot boxes inside of them for around 300,000. When you get one, I recommend dropping anything you're doing to go to a bunker, because if you die, you will drop the card. Even though the most optimal thing would be to go during the overtime when you're done looting the banks. If you get one in the big bank, this might be the only time where it is acceptable to go back for the helicopter and quickly loot the bunker. I usually go for the one at the very northeast because it seems to be the one where you're less likely to encounter people. You also need to be aware of bunker 11. This is a special bunker that is way harder to open, especially in solo. It requires to do an Easter egg across the whole map with phones you can interact with. I might do a whole video about that. Anyway, the bunker is located at the top of the map and it holds even more cash than a regular bunker, and at the very end of the game it can work to camp the gate and wait for a team to enter. If the light becomes green, that means a team is about to open it. You're probably gonna have to deal with multiple enemies and you will probably die, but at least it's pretty fun to try. Anyways, I think that's all I wanted to say. Once again, this is definitely not the only way to play Plunder, and there are many other strategies to win, but this is what I personally found the most reliable way to carry a team of randoms and grind XP. Anyway, I hope you found this video interesting and helpful, and if you did, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. It will help me a ton. And see you next time.